Well, hasn't 2024 started quickly? What are we up to? It's already the 13th here. Crazy. But I thought, why not do a video for, I suppose, it's really for everyone, but it's basically 3 simple tips to Pokemon investing. Now, if you're new to the hobby in 2024, or you started at the end of 2023, or you got into it during 151 like a lot of people did, and you're like, oh, what's Pokemon investing? How do I do it? What's an easy framework to use when I do it? This is the video for you. If you're also pretty, I suppose, experienced with Pokemon investing, like a lot of people would be that are watching this video, this is also the video for you, because these 3 steps are so simple, but sometimes I just feel like we overlook them. We overlook the framework around things. And that framework is really important in guiding decision making. So that's what this video is all about. 3 simple steps or 3 simple rules almost to Pokemon investing. Now, before we jump into it, I just want to say if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It means a lot. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel, that would be awesome. You just go to my homepage on YouTube and click join. If you do join, you can shoot me an email at my Hotmail, which is always in the description. Just use your handle so I can check you're a member, and then ask me any sort of question related to Pokemon investing that you want a bit more insight in, or maybe just hear another voice on it. But anyway, let's get into the video. 3 simple rules for Pokemon investing. Rule number 1. And I'd almost say this isn't a rule, but it leads into the next 2 really, really nicely. And that is liquidity, or that's basically how you pronounce it. I'm Australian, probably Americans might pronounce it a bit different, but liquidity. Okay, I suppose if we were to define that word, it is the efficiency or ease with which an asset can be converted into ready cash, okay, without affecting its market price. So the efficiency or ease with which an asset can be converted into cash without affecting its market price. And that's pretty important, right? Especially that last part, without affecting its market price. Because something can be converted into cash pretty easily if it's worth way less than what the market says it's worth. Like, I work in the car industry. I sell new cars, have done for quite some time. And, if someone's trading a car, and, quite often, it's hard at the moment to trade cars, I'm telling you, but quite often they'll ask, what's my car worth, etc. And I want to sell it myself, or I want to pass it on to someone. And I said, well, look, we'd love to trade. And of course, always try and work with someone to trade in the car, because it's the best option for the business. But if they don't want to trade the car and just want to sell it privately for whatever reason, I always say to them, look, if you want a quick sale, if you're putting something under market price or significantly under market price, then of course you're going to convert your asset to cash pretty quickly. Same thing's going to happen in the Pokemon card world, right? If you put your product well under market price, you're going to sell it quickly and convert that asset to cash. A very simple example would be, let's take an Evolving Skies booster box, because it's the flavor of the month, almost, Evolving Skies. I just did a video on it, but current market price has it about $440 US. If you list yours at $350 US, you will sell it instantly. The first person that passes eyes on that product will buy it, because it's well under market price, and you're converting your asset to cash really quickly. However, you're affecting its market price. You're selling it for unders. So when we talk about liquidity in the Pokemon card world, I think a lot of times that escapes people. And that's going to lead me into the next 2 parts of the 3 simple rules, I guess. So rule number 1, you always need to have liquidity on your mind, because one day, if you want to make money out of it, you're going to have to sell it. There are some other side hustles that you can do in the Pokemon card world, which I've done a video on. But when it comes to holding sealed product or holding a single product like a card, if you want to make money off that, the only way you can is by selling it for more than what you bought it for. Like, it is as simple as that. If you buy a Lost Origin booster box at 140 US or 220 Australian dollars, and you want to sell it in 5 years' time because it's now worth whatever, you obviously need to sell it for more than what you bought it for to make your money. Like, it's that simple. Someone's going to have to pay you more than what you bought it for. So keep liquidity on your mind. Now, the other 2 rules that stem really closely to liquidity, and I'll tie them in with it, is this one, okay? What set are you choosing to invest in? Very, very simple rule. Choose the right set to invest in. Now, when it comes to collecting, I love collecting sealed. So I'll buy a booster box and elite trainer box set from every set that comes out. That's for collection purposes because I enjoy it. When it comes to investing and parking more money or buying multiples of something, that's when I choose very wisely about where I park my money. I don't care if I spend, what's the worst set of Scarlet and Violet so far? It's got to be base set, surely, or maybe Obsidian Flames. At least that's got a nice Charizard in it. But let's Scarlet and Violet pace. I don't care if I paid 180 Australian dollars for the booster box and it doesn't move for 3 years. It's part of my collection. It doesn't matter. If I'd bought 10 of the boxes because I thought it was a good investment and it didn't move for 3 years, I'd be quite grumpy because I've wasted 180 bucks times 10. I've wasted $1,800, which I could have parked elsewhere to make more gains off it. So you get my point, right? The set, when it comes to investing in the set, you need to choose wisely. And how do we choose wisely? We can break this step down into a few other bits and pieces, right? When it comes to a set, all that matters really is what's inside the set and then how much it gets printed. Like, it's as basic as that, really. And I'm trying to make this video as basic as possible. And I don't mean to sound like I'm dumbing it all down, but quite often we overlook these things. So the set, what are the big hits inside the set? And what is the depth of the hits inside the set? Now, if we look at Scarlet and Violet, other than 151, which is a holiday set, we look at the 4 main sets so far, right? The pick of them is Paldea Evolved. Then in my eyes, it's Paradox Rift. Then it's Obsidian Flames. Then it's Scarlet and Violet base. That's how I rank the first 4 sets. You could disagree with me, but that's how I personally rank them. And let's look at Paldea, right? Paldea's good. It's not great, but it's good. Maybe like a B tier set, B plus, maybe I'd score it. But, you know, it doesn't have mega hits, but it's got 2 really nice hits. It's got 2 really nice chase cards that if you pull them, you go, like, yes, I got it. Like, sweet, it's going to give you that rush. The Iona, of course, and then the Magikarp, of course. They're both north of $50 raw. And then after that, when it comes to the depth of that set, there's actually 18 cards in Paldea Evolved that are over $10 raw. So that set has 2 decent hits, and then it's got 18 cards over $10. So it's got depth of hits as well. Now, the other thing that's going to come into that, of course, that I mentioned is print run. And that's the big unknown. I get so many questions about, you know, what sets are getting reprinted. And the fact of the matter is, no one really knows. Like, if you own an online store or a face-to-face store, if a reprint's coming, it'll be like the distribution will open you up to say, you know, you can now reorder X amount of this stock, or we're going to give you X amount of this stock. So you know a reprint's coming. But until that happens, no one really knows. Certainly not me. I wish I did. I'd just be telling lies. I'm always in conversations with retailers, both in the online space and physical space, to see when reprints are coming or if they've heard anything about a reprint coming. But the fact of the matter is no one really knows. But that plays a massive role in it. So Paldea Evolved, let's go back onto that example. That's a really solid set. Like I was saying, maybe B or B plus, especially with the depth of hits. Right down to things like, you know, the Sleeping Raichu, the Godzilla Tyranitar, even that I love that Taurus. It's got some cute cards in there, like the 3 starters all get those illustration rares for Scarlet and Violet. So it's got the 3 starter illustration rares. Like, it's a good set. But if it gets absolutely smashed into the ground of reprints, it's just going to absolutely stall it as an investment opportunity. So when it comes to the set, you've got to think of those things. 3 pretty simple things inside the set. How many big hits are there? How many big hits are there? What are the depth of the hits? And also, you know, how much is it being printed? And the third one's an unknown. So sometimes we can get it right and sometimes we can get it wrong. If there's plenty of demand for a set, that comes into it as well. Of course, if there's plenty of demand to the set, that can often, you know, offset reprints. Like Evolving Skies is a great example. That set was printed a lot. It wasn't a short printed set, but the demand for it just absorbed the reprints like crazy. Rule number 3, I think we're up to, aren't we? Rule number 3, and that is the product. Okay, so liquidity is important, which leads very closely into the product you're going to invest in. Sorry, the set you're going to invest in, and then the product you're going to invest in. So by product, I mean, let's choose another set, okay? Like let's retrace to Team Up in Sun and Moon era. Great set, but what product are we going to choose to invest in when it comes to that set? And what I mean by that is, are we going to choose booster boxes? Are we going to choose elite trainer boxes? Are we going to choose 3-pack blisters, check lane blisters, single blisters, or sleeve boosters, I should call them? Are we just going to choose booster packs, build and battle kits? You get what I mean. So what product are you going to invest in? So not only what set are you going to invest in, but then what product. And here's an example. This is why I chose Team Up, right? In the last 3 months, if we go through eBay, and this is just ebay.com.au, but it includes some international sales as well. If we type in Team Up booster boxes and go to sold listings, in the last 3 months, there's been 57 Team Up booster boxes sold. If we compare that to elite trainer boxes, there's only been 15 elite trainer boxes sold. And if we compare that to 3-pack blisters, there's only been 13 3-pack blisters sold. So where am I going with this exactly? When it comes circling all the way back to liquidity, okay, the popularity of the set, how good the set is, and then how good the product you're choosing to sell is all really important when it comes to cashing in your gains. Because that, like I was saying at the start, that's the whole purpose. Someone needs to buy it for more than what you paid for it. Otherwise, you ain't making money, which isn't an investment. If you're not making money, you're losing it. And that's not investing. You might as well just put it in a bank account with 3% interest and, 10 grand in there at the end of the year, count your $300. Like, it's really, really important that you choose the right set with the right product. So with that in mind, Team Up's example, with 57 booster boxes sold, 15 ETBs sold in comparison to 13 3-pack blisters sold over the last 3 months, we can quite often see that booster box is king. And this is really all I invest in at the moment, other than 3-pack blisters. Just because I love 3-pack blisters, especially if it comes with a nice promo. And they are quite liquid. Like they're a good entry point into the hobby to buy. Are they a booster box? No. Will they ever do what a booster box will do? No. Will they ever perform as well as a booster box will do? No. Like, let's rewind all the way back to EX era, right? Like, if you're looking at EX Deoxys, for argument's sake, which has that Gold Star Rayquaza inside it, okay, the booster box might be worth like 40k US or 50k US if you could buy one, or 34, I don't know what they are, 30 to 50k, somewhere around that. You're probably gonna have to pay to get an EX Deoxys booster box, sealed, mint condition. Like, whereas if you can't afford that and you still want a slice of that pie when it comes to EX Deoxys, you might get the 3-pack blister, which is hard to find with 3 Deoxys packs inside it. But if you can find 3 EX Deoxys packs inside it, like, that gives you a slice into EX Deoxys for maybe, 1,500 or 2 grand US. So you can see the point that I'm trying to make there is there's a different entry point into the hobby. So when it comes to products, I think and liquefying them, booster boxes are always going to be king. They're also a nice size. Keep in mind, you're also going to have to post it and pack it and pay for that. And, ETBs and ultra premium collections. Like, I know people that bought 40 Charizard UPCs. Like, yes, it's going to be a decent investment. And yes, it'll perform over time. And solely on that basis, I think that not so much that people want to buy it to then have one in their collection, but streamers will want to buy it to rip it. It's a great, ripping product, for lack of a better word. It's great for, it's got Evo Skies in there. It's got the Charizard promos. It's that collection of Sword and Shield alt art sets inside there that streamers are just going to love in the future. Like, that's where the money's at for that set. But it's a pain in the backside to sell. Look at the size of it. Like, it's massive. It's going to cost you especially if it starts going up in value and you want to registered post it, so make sure you got, insurance and tracking on it. You got to think of those things when it comes to liquefying it. So I suppose if we retrace all the way back to the start, that whole liquefying of the asset, 3 steps, 3 rules. Make sure it's liquefiable, and those stem from step number 2 and step number 3, which is choosing the right set and then choosing the right product. I know it sounds extremely basic, and I've gone on a long tangent exploring those 3 steps, but hopefully tying that in makes sense. So when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, excluding 151, because 151 is clearly the best set from Scarlet and Violet, but if you look at the 4 main sets, Base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, and Paradox Rift, where would you park your money? Paldea Evolved. What product would you park your money in? Booster boxes. In 5 years' time, you might be liquefying it and making some money off it. I'm Michael, this is Pokey Oz. Catch everyone next time.